Okay, guys, how are you? Still technical problems. Okay. Okay, wait a second. I'm getting there. It's always that stupid YouTube that's still on. So, how you guys doing? Wait a second. I have to get off that screen there. Here we go. I don't know how to get that off. Oh man, I hate these things there. I don't want to share no more, so I don't share it anymore. Okay, see what's going on here. Here we are. Here I am. So, uh, I doing Shalom from Israel, trying to fight with this, how do you call it, that Zoom thing. So I wanted to make a second video tonight because yesterday we had also some technical problems. I'm really gonna still have some. But the thing is that yesterday we didn't have time really to develop, what we started to talk about the firmament, because since I've been, also taking pictures of stars and videos of stars, just the way Mikey did, with maybe another type of binoculars, I've been realizing something. Uh, is that actually the shape of the skies, the shape of the stars, are as important, if not more important, than the shape of the Earth. Why that? Because it makes sense that in order to understand the Earth's mechanisms, we're gonna have to understand the mechanisms of the skies because this is linked. The skies are like actually serving the Earth and actually like uh, designed to help down there. So that means that it's a part of big part, maybe a main part of the Earth's mechanisms. So how can we understand fully how the Earth works? Even though we can measure it, we can observe it right now, there's no problem. We have like plenty of observations, and so the thing is that it makes sense to me that I believe that the next level in flat Earth is going to be, about studying and observing the skies and the stars. So now, lots of people can say, okay, of course, there are lots of people like, taking pictures of the skies, of the stars. But again, when you look at them, and when you look at most pictures, taken by binoculars, or whatever, telescopes and extra large telescopes, well, they're all the same. Like, so you can say, oh yeah, well, because the stars are all the same. So everybody, sees the same thing. But the thing is that, actually we understand now that maybe the stars do have a structure and there is more than just like a blood spot of light, over there. We know it's not balls of gas. It doesn't look like it, doesn't behave like it. According to what we saw so far, what we can say is that there is lots of electrical, activity over there, a huge electrical activity. What looks like electricity, anyways, because again, we don't know, the technology there. So the thing is that there is much more to it than what the establishment, is trying to tell us or try to, show us. And again, what's very, very disturbing for me is that despite all the large telescopes and extra large telescopes and all the observatories, worldwide, nobody cares about watching the stars, looking at the stars that are supposedly close or the brightest one. Okay. So they don't care about them. They're going to care about other stars. They're going to tell you, oh, that star, it's like 5 billion light years away. That's great. So, but why don't you use your telescopes also? I don't say just for that, but also on what's close to see if you cannot like discover different things. But they don't do that. There's only like one picture or two pictures of Sirius, which is the brightest star, or one of the brightest stars, that you can see on Earth. Uh, you don't have any pictures of videos of that from NASA. So there is something very fishy. And according to the first reactions, you know, we see from people around, from the Globers, from some flat earthers, you know, we understand that might have touched a nerve here, and that actually it seems to me that it might be more important than flat Earth. Like it's more of a taboo subject than flat Earth is, because all these Globers and whatever media outlets making fun of flat Earth all the time. Well, they also somehow are talking about flat Earth. They're also like publicizing flat Earth. You understand? They make it like they make it look like they're against and making fun, but they're talking about it. But the stores, oh my God, they don't even make fun of it. They don't make fun of it. How come? It's been like 3 weeks since we showed like pictures from Israel confirming Mike's pictures, but nobody makes fun of us. What's going on with you guys? Just make fun of us a little bit. What's wrong with that? You want some money? So it seems to me that first of all, it appears that they all work together, because there's not even one that even mentions it. And the thing is that again, it seems that they don't know how to handle it yet, because so far they can make fun of Mike and demonize him and making fun of him, so to try to destroy his credibility, and therefore, in the eyes of like regular people, the credibility of his work, and his pictures. And I understand that. I have no problem. Those are like tactics I respect. This is we're at war with these people. The thing is that now that we are two people, so I don't think they know how to handle that. They're just like thinking, how can we handle that? What we're gonna do? So they made like not too long ago like some kind of a contest, a stupid contest, like who's the best or the worst flat earther, and they took pick up Mikey Smith, like why? There's so many other flat earthers you can pick up on. But again, always in the I see that like a desperate move in order to just like increase their action of discrediting Mikey, which is easy. Mikey is a we know Mikey is not a hard to make fun of him and to to accuse him of all kinds of stuff. And even though those accusations might be justified sometimes, I don't care. But as a flat earther, I'm supposed to be thinking. I'm supposed to be like I cannot make it personal. I cannot just accept the truth only if it comes from someone that that I like, or that that is better than me. What is that? Usually, truths don't come from people that are like very high and very like recognized. They come from like the opposite side. That means that people that you can look at them and say, "What, are you kidding me? That guy is nothing. That guy is like it's a joke." Well, that's how God usually, is working. He's going to take people that have no credibility, people that you can laugh at. It's just a test, you know. So again, we shouldn't have like a childish behavior or attitude towards someone that is as like funny looking and as Mikey, but that on the other side has something there. Just like Vlad said last time, he knows, he understands that he's got something. So again, we don't know uh, what he's got. We don't understand. I don't understand also what's going on. Uh, but I can tell you, and I feel that it is something huge, huge, and even that bigger than flat Earth. Now, again, about flat Earth, we have like millions of evidence that the Earth is not a globe. We even understand who created that lie and why they do it. We got it. We got it. It's okay. So the thing is that what I don't understand is that how long can we talk about flat Earth? Okay, so we have those globers that come in and just like talk about flat Earth. Hey, you didn't think about this, you didn't think about this, and flat Earth, the Earth is not flat, and but we already passed that milestone. We know that the Earth is flat. You're coming too late. That's not for you. Just go back to your video games. It's not for you. We know the Earth is flat, and we don't have to prove it, because we have the truth. Whoever wants the truth, wants to understand it, he can just go Google it. We can help him if he wants, but it's not something that we have to prove. You know, They're the ones that are lying, that they have to so much to prove. Well, we don't have nothing to prove. It's okay, just leave us alone. The earth for you is a globe. Just just go with your stupid lies and just leave us alone. And again, the thing is that we've talked a lot about flatters, and everybody talks about flatters and gives like proofs and evidence, and to confirm that. So on one side, I believe that it's important to have channels talking about flatters all the time and proving flatters, and because it helps recruiting people. And lots of people just don't know really about flatters, or just don't understand. So talking about flatters all the time, it's good because it publicizes it, and it also helps recruiting people. Just like I did, when I came to flatters, I also watched, how do you call it, podcasts and videos. So that's important. However, I will add up to this that among our priorities now as flatterers, we should include that of bringing flat Earth to another level, much more interesting, and I believe that that level is the skies. It's at one point we're going to have to understand the skies. So again, we might have something with those pictures that I've taken and that Mikey has taken on his side, but again, it's still like we still are working on it, and so far we have a lot of information. So before that, I'm gonna do like I want to do every time. I'm gonna first take a few minutes, 2 3 minutes, to just bring the Torah, because this is who I am. I'm linked to that book and to the that people. So the thing is that just to bring a point from the Torah, that of course the earth is flat, and here we're going to bring a verse, important verse, that actually there is a dome above the earth, because it is said about the sun that the sun, you cannot hide from his heat. That's a nice picture. You can hide from the sun's light, but not from his heat. So wait a second, let me just like check it out. Here we go. Look this some show. Okay. Okay, here we go. So I'm sharing that with you. That's one of that's the last video we made. I made when I wanted to understand flat Earth, and it's the Torah. What does the Torah have to say about flat Earth? So check it out.
Now there is a very important statement about the sun in the Torah. It is written, "Ve'ein mistar miramato," which means that nothing can hide from the sun's heat. And this is very important because it proves in itself that the sun is indeed located within a dome, where its heat can be kept upon the earth. Because even though you can hide from the sunlight, because at night the sun rays do not reach you, you cannot hide from the sun's heat, which is all over the place even at night time. And this confirms how stupid is the idea of believing that the earth is a globe and that the sun is a big globe on the other side far away from earth. Because if it was true, then the dark side of the earth will be instantly frozen. But no, now that there is a dome upon the earth, upon the flat earth, so even though the sun is not above you directly, you still receive its heat. So you see, this is the power of Hebrew. With 3 words, ve'ein mistar mihamato, you can understand all this.
Okay. So that was just for a little, taste, about what the Torah has to say about flat Earth. So that's just like for the record. So one more point for us. So again, so that question of the dome is very important, because I think it's in Ecclesiastes 19:2 and not 19:1, like most people, say. It is said that the skies, tell God's glory, and the dome, whatever. So that means that it is linked. The dome is linked at, you know, the thing that the biggest thing that God made, like to show His majesty, to show His, like, you know, His greatness. You understand? So that's important to you know, to understand, you know, what the that dome is that we don't see, because the flat earth, we see it. We can go travel, you know, by plane, by boat. We see the earth, even if we don't see everything in one shot. But we see, and even though there were, like, you know, balloons that were sent like up in the air, and you can see that the earth is flat. But the dome, you don't see it. So that's like another level. You have to deduct that it's here, and it's easy to deduct anyways. But if we put in some hardware into it, like you know, cameras, and we are not talking about bringing in, you know, I'm studying the thing to bring in like infrared camera and all kinds of cameras that can, you know, show us some details that we cannot see with a regular, you know, camera. And what's funny about this is that there are like almost nothing that show videos of stars with infrared. There is like a one guy that made like 3 videos I saw, but it's like it looks funny a little bit because the stars are not glowing. They just stay like little dots like these. They don't even move, even though it's like 64 times in the speed. So you know, there's nothing much. Who does that? Who's gonna look at the stars with infrared? You gotta be crazy like us to do that. But good crazy, good crazy. So the thing is that you know, again, my point was to tell you that maybe we should start, you know, uh, going to that next level uh, about flat Earth and think and study the skies, and that's what we are doing. So again, there are people that today believe that, you know, all the pictures that Mikey took come from, you know, a bad phone or cheap equipment. Like we mentioned yesterday, Armand saying that he's got a cheap equipment and that's it. That's the thing. And then that he's got a good equipment that costs like about $3,500, you know, dollars, and that what you see is the best that you can see. It's like, you know, which is, you know, again, kind of absurd, because in that case, so equipment that costs like 10,000, you know, dollars should put his equipment as like, you know, cheap equipment. How about like extra large telescope that cost $1 billion that costs like so much? So where's his equipment? And those telescope, you know, see exactly what he sees, like, you know. So you know, you have to be logic. So again, you can say it's a cheap equipment. You're entitled to say that. You can say it's like all kinds of aberration. As a regular guy, you're entitled to say that. But as a flat earther, you're not, because if you're a real flat earther and a good one, because there are real flat earthers and good flat earthers. And against that, there are fake flat earthers, means people that, you know, are chills, and bad ones, the ones that are true flat earthers, but they don't do their, you know, their job correctly. So as a good flat earther and a true flat earther, you should be doing your homework. You have the obligation to check and double check what you think, what you believe, because flat earth is not about belief. The globe is. So flat earth is about understanding things, you know. So you have to be like cold-blooded investigators, and you know, just check what you believe in. And when you say that, you know, it might be a chromatic aberration or something, no problem, just go and check, Google it. It's going to take about like 3 minutes to show you, you know, what a chromatic aberration is and to compare it. Then you can see also, you know, all over internet, are there pictures that are close to what is done? They are known. So in with all the aberrations that are known in photography, Mikey's pictures do not fit in any of them. It doesn't fit in any of those categories. So you have to be smart. You have to, you know, you have to smarten up. So the guy's got something. Okay, whatever he is, whatever you like him or not, and I don't care, but I don't care about him. I care about, you know, what he's done so far. So now, even more than that, now you have me coming into the picture. I took about like 12 stars clean. I have like pictures of like about like 20, 25 stars, but some of them are not good, so I'm not going to put them. You know, I'm not like Jim Ennis is going to put like, you know, blurred pictures and say, oh, look, that's a star. No, I don't do that. I'm going to take what's the best that I could take so far that show that there is a shape in many of them. Like For now we have like I have about like 12 pictures of stars that all show the same shape with a cone and a tail and a ring in the middle. So it's a pattern. It comes back all the time. So that confirms what Mikey Smith said and his pictures too. So again, and even the bad pictures, like I said, even the blurred pictures that I have and the bad ones, also you can detect that same shape that comes back, but it's too blurred. It's not. I don't want to just put them there and just like have a bunch of like bad pictures. So we're working on it. We're working to get better equipment. I got also CMOS camera that works kind of in a special way. So I have to again study it because I never done that in my life. So just to let you know that we're working on seeing what's going on over there. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you again what we played yesterday about all the best footage that we have showing that there is some kind of a how do you call it, some kind of a texture behind the stars and some kind of a dark matter on which the stars appear to reflect each other from time to time. It's random, it's not like regularly. Before to show that to you, I am going to share into the chat. I'm going to share, sorry, the link if somebody wants to come in, but I'm very selective in who I can bring in. So only people that I know that know how to behave. Okay, that's the link I just sent you. Okay. And I just sent a message to Mactoon just to know. He just answered me. He's going to try to come in. That would be interesting also to see his reaction, for this whole thing. So wait a second. Here we are. I'm back. Okay. So I'm going to share with you now what I saw yesterday. What I showed, sorry, yesterday. Sorry. And this is the best shots we have of the dome, what we believe is a dome. Michael calls that the firmament, but I'm not sure at that point, but it makes sense that it is or a part of it or something. So this is again Sirius. Okay, you recognize that shape, but there is like a big activity there. That means at one point you see that the star is like bright. That's why you don't see much. You see the details on the outside like that, but in the middle it's like strong, it's glowing for whatever reason. We don't know. Up, you see. So I come back and this is what happens here. So look at the star. The star is at one point like glowing, and this is when it glows that boom, you have that tail there, you have that reflection there. You understand? And it's not actually the reflection of the star itself. I don't think so. Maybe it is. We have to study it. It seems like some kind of a, I don't know. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't show the shape of the star itself. So I don't think it's the star that reflects itself. But check it out. Opa, you see? So you have like some green spots here, yellow spots here, and that means there is a prism. So again, you can say that the phone is doing this. You can say that again, but again, as a flat earther, you have obligations to double check it. And you see, like when you see those colors, like white and blue there, so you can also say that it's like a chromatic aberration, or maybe not the right colors. But when you type, on Google, and you look for Sirius, they're gonna say it's like a blue and white star. You see, so that's the way you do it. We gotta smarten up, and whoever is gonna try to challenge, these pictures, they're gonna have to come with like solid evidence. It's gonna be hard for them, and I believe almost impossible because you have to know that I also tried, to debunk all that. In the beginning, I was also like, who's that guy? Who's that Mikey Smith? Those pictures are like, it's no good. And I had a very good friend of mine that told me the same thing. So I said, okay, but then, something told me that maybe he's got something. And actually, I believe that he's got very, Very important things. He put his finger on something huge. And by luck, because the guy didn't look for those pictures. Okay, so you see, here we have now pink, yellow, a little bit of orange, green, purple. So we have the prism, like we have the colors of the rainbow. Uh, and you see the blue stays here. It doesn't go there. So again, I'm not sure what it is, but it cannot, it's not, see here I have another one that's also serious, a different time, I think. And here we go. So you see, it lights up something there, but it's so blurred we don't know where it is, but we know there is something there. Why there is nothing over here? If it was the phone, you wouldn't do that. In the world, the phone cannot do this. It's impossible. But you see here, we see that there is like some type of a layer like this. It just goes like this and like this and like this and like this. It looks like it looks like a reflection, much more than before. And there is not, you know, much colors like in the other one. And you see from a different angle. So again, if it was the phone, it would be the same thing. So it's total different, angles. So that means that there is something behind that is actually responsible of that those random, like glows like that. And the first conclusion that we have is that there is something, of course, behind. There is a texture, there is a solid matter, either it's a hard matter or a soft one. I don't know. Waters, I doubt it, but it's possible. Everything is possible. We can have shadow on a cloud also. It's possible. So, but again, I'm just trying to share what I have with you. So this is now you have Sirius again, the same thing that's blown up. Yeah, here we go. You see. So the star here is like, check it out. It melts with its reflection. That means it has a big energy coming out of there for some reason that again we do not know. And out of this energy, comes that. But we know that the stars glow all the time. They just whoa, whoa, whoa. We see that with the naked eye. So the thing is that sometimes when it glows, if it goes, in front of some kind of, matter that, can reflect that glow. So that's what happens. And actually, that brings a important point, because since we know that there is a dome, above the Earth, so the question is that, are all the stars like, you know, um, how do you say that, like nailed on that dome, and the dome is turning, or is the dome like, like solid and doesn't turn, and the stars somehow all together are just like moving all together in perfect order, in perfect time. So in the Torah it is said that the stars are compared to an army. In Genesis, in the creation, it says, and the skies and the earth and their army, tzava in Hebrew is army, were finished, and then it comes the seventh day and everything. So the thing is that the word is tzava in Hebrew, it's an army, and an army marches, march together. The soldiers do march together. You see, so there is a technology there, divine, science that makes all these stars, and there are many of them, and some of them you cannot see with your naked eye. You understand? So they have another like task, another function than just like serve the Earth, so serve Earth as like science or whatever, because you don't even see them. So they have another function. So that means that it's very possible. Again, it's an idea that all those stars are like self-propulsed somehow, and turn together because of these reflections. This is what we believe. But again, I just want to share that with you, because we also need your beliefs and understanding of what's going on here. Those are pictures you don't see on internet. They are known. Even Mikey Smith took some pictures of what appears to be like here, you see, like some kind of a matter there. It's like I don't know what those holes are, but I don't know if it's I don't know what to tell you, but he has a lot of pictures like that, but not like, the one that I just showed you about Sirius. Those are like, you're the first ones to see that, from the public. So you see here it is also. Up, you're gonna see it's like all that tail there, and that disappears after that. You see, up, that tail there, and so that you have to know that when I film the stars, okay, the phone doesn't move, and the star moves. So I get like a few seconds, depends how I zoom on it, for the star to cross my screen like this. So here I just like zoomed in so you can see the star, as big as possible. But actually the star is moving. It's not me moving. I don't touch the camera, I don't touch nothing at that point. This is the same thing in slow motion. So you see this changes. It looks like, it reminds me of the waters a little bit, the reflection on the water sometimes, that are like whoa, whoa. But again, I don't know. So that LNAF, I'm sorry, I should put a map just to tell you where it is, but you can just Google it in 1 second and find it out. So here we go. You see, you have like here is Sirius again. So Sirius is one of the brighter stars. So maybe Sirius has more success into like reflecting itself on that solid matter there. You see all these are like reflections. All this also is like you can deduct that it's something that is being reflected here, but it's very. You see here we go. Here we go. Up, you see, and the star now is being like you know it's melting with its surrounding, that the light is so bright that it just like merges with the surrounding. But you can detect the structures here, and you also have like very interesting structures around. See, it's like square. It's like square. So I don't know. For now, again, we don't understand it, and we are just observing something that is we can say abnormal for people that we are today. So this is serious. And again, same star. So now it's Anitak. Anitak is in one of the stars in the Orion belt. You see. So you can detect, that right ring there, right ring, that tail there, and that vortex on the top. This what comes back all the time. So this here, you see, that is not really the form of the star. You see that the light is like too blue here. That means at one point my phone is not calibrated. So I'll explain to you what I realized. I have my binoculars, and I have the glass there, of the eye of the binocular. And the thing is that my phone also has his eye, next to his eye. So the lenses are curved, you see. So if the phone and the binos, are not perfectly calibrated, they're just a little bit off. So it changes the shape of the star, and this is what happens here. So you have to play around to get the right shape. Now, how do we know that what we get is a right shape and not a distortion? Very simply, because we have plenty of distortions. We know what they are, and it's very hard to get that synchronization here between those two eyes, and also by the fact that on the true shape of the stars you can see the structure, you can see the details. So it is totally absurd to believe that a glow, like a blurred spot of light is the form, is the really the form of the star, the shape of the star, and that what gives you details, is like it's blurred, it's like a common sense disorder. You understand? I'm going to show you an example of what I say, after that. So we keep on going, and you see all these like these reflections. You see, that reflection here is interesting because it's not like it lasts. It goes with the star, just follows the star, just like a shadow. You see? So here it is, this here just follows the star. Check it out. Up, it goes with it. And here the star is moving. You understand? And here it disappears. You get it? So that means that there is an irregularity some behind. That's again the same thing. So now, but the shape, of that reflection, of course, we can say since the phone is not calibrated, that can maybe affect the shape a little bit. But here we're not talking about like, hard work. We're talking about like, acknowledging, knowing that there is, reflections on some kind of a texture behind whatever the shape it is. For now, the shape is not important at that point. In that video, the point is to prove that there is something else behind the stars and that they are not balls of gas into infinite space. That's the point, you see, and we are having some hardware now to demonstrate it, to I won't say prove it yet, but to indicate it. So we also have to also have to know that so you have Mikey Smith in Canada that is working on these pictures. You have me in Israel that is working on these pictures. We have a third guy also in another country that Mikey knows that is going to start also this. I think it's in the States. I'm not sure. And I personally have many contacts in many countries, in the world, in Norway, in Germany, and it's a question of just have a little bit of money to just send those guys, the right equipment and just tell them, just go ahead and take pictures and take videos. So I believe that, it's a question of time until we can get organized and have like, a bunch of people a little bit all over. Also in India, I have people in India that can also help us over there. So it takes time, slowly, takes some money, takes patience. So that's it for the that thing there, that video of the dome, what we have on the dome. So I'd like to see if there is. I don't even know if we have like. Wait a second. We have somebody. Okay. No. So again, here we are. So that's what I wanted to tell you. I just wanted to, make a small note, to tell you that I believe that we have something, and I didn't believe it as much as I do now. Now that I filmed those tours, I'm going to go out tonight. Here in Israel, we have like clear skies, like 95, 98% of the time. Even in winter time, it's a little cold for us because 10 degrees, above zero is like it's like very cold for us here. 0 degrees is like Armageddon. It's like the end of the world, apocalypse. So that's what I wanted to tell you, and I believe that you guys, flat earthers that are watching this, should consider, to start checking those things and start talking about these things, because I believe we have something and we are at the beginning of it. So if it ever goes somewhere, like I believe it will, it'll be good for you to be at the beginning of it, and just that to be like some kind of honorable for you. So that's what I believe. So if you don't like Mikey Smith or me, for whatever reasons, people don't like Israel. They associate all this with what the mass media tells them about Israel, but all that situation here, about the Jews controlling the world, about all this. So even if you have a problem with me or with Mike for whatever reason, for whatever he is, I heard he has ego, he's like whatever. So, and all of my message is just like to, try to put all this on the side, just concentrate on what we have. We're not here to become popular. We don't ask for popularity. We don't ask for, to for you to embrace, what we are, but just to double check what we do have. Because I tell you something, we have so many differences. We come from different countries, different races, different beliefs, different religions, different political opinions. We have so many different, uh, differences and different opinions that divide us. So I believe that what would be smart to do with Flutters is to just take a look at what we have in common, because this is how we're going to be able to unite. If not, we're going to keep on being divided, and the other guys on the other side they're going to profit from this division. So we have to learn how to see what's the best into each one of us, I believe, and to see what do we have in common, and to regroup around this, and not around other things that divide us, because if not, it's just going to stay divided. And that the whole idea of Flutters is to break all these barriers, to break all these differences that have been, most of them that have been man-made. So in order to just like wake up, because I believe we have to get together to wake up. We cannot wake up individually. Look at Mikey Smith. He made like a lawsuit to the space agency, Canadian Space Agency, but he's alone. So that's a joke. So imagine if we have an association or a group with like 20 million people behind, and a few billions of dollars, to buy the best lawyers, and now we attack NASA, we attack the whatever space agency. Not the same thing. You understand? One guy is a joke, doesn't have the means to do anything. But an association with millions of people behind, and lots of money behind, it's another story. You understand? So we have to think about, like, that's always been my agenda, my idea. We have to do something, So if not, so what's the point? What's next? Like, okay, we know the Earth is flat, so then what? We're gonna just stay there and smoke a joint and talk about flatters, and like that. Okay, that maybe we had to do that, but now I believe that we have to go further. We have to go to the next level, and that next level for me, for now, is that dome there. Is that dome. So we're gonna take a little break if you want, like a few minutes, so you can go to do what you have to do, and hoping that I know how to do that. I'll come back. If I don't know, I'm just gonna put like something on the camera. Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna just shut down the audio and video. So a little break for now. Sorry, I don't have like music for now to to divert you, for like for that break. But I'm gonna go off now, and I'll come back within like 10 minutes. Let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes break. You have the link into that how do you call it, that chat there. You have the link. I'm sorry, I don't even know if there are people here. I don't believe there is anybody, or maybe So here I am. I am talking to my computer. It's the best. It doesn't, argue with me. Everything I say, it just like listens. That's great. Okay, guys. Now 10 minutes, and I'll come back. Okay, guys. So we're back, and I'd like you to see okay, guys, the other video that that we took that we exposed yesterday about the stars this time. You know, the best shots we have of stars so far, the best shots that can confirm, you know, the shape of those, you know, stars that, you know, Mikey showed us in his footage. And the thing also, I understand that people might have doubted him because just the way I thought at one point, I thought, well, that guy took pictures like 3 years ago, and since then, like nothing, like another one or two, took like 3 years to do that. You understand? So we have to realize that, you know, in Canada, the weather, you know, conditions there are terrible. You see, I'm talking to Mikey for like, you know, 3, 4 weeks now. He didn't have the chance to go out even once outside because it's all cloudy and just forget about it. And I took those, you know, those videos there of those stars, like 10, 12 stars, like within a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks, 10, 12 stars. Okay. They're not at the same quality level than the ones of, you know, that Mikey took. And I'm working on it. I'm still like new into this business. But again, you have to understand that here in Israel we have like a perfectly clean skies. It's the Middle East. You understand? And in Canada it's very very hard, very hard. Then something else also that also is in my favor is that I have like, you know, very big binoculars. It's 40 times by 110, so that multiplies like many times. You know, the power that, you know, the Mikey Smith binos. You know, so the thing is that again, it makes kind of sense that I should be more successful than him here because the weather conditions that I have and part of the material that I have is better. But I don't have his experience. He's been doing that, you know, for like a long time. So again, don't let that fool you. You know, if he didn't, you know, have lots of pictures in like 2, 3 years, is because what he did, he took that by luck. First of all, you didn't expect that, and second of all, it's very hard to reproduce. And sometimes I go outside and I spend like 3, 4 hours, I don't get nothing, and I see the stars and they're clean and they're here, and I cannot, you know, I cannot zoom on them. I cannot have like, you know, a good picture of them for some reason. Maybe there are clouds in between I don't see. Maybe humidity. I have no idea. I'm just learning all that. So here I wanted to show you now the video that that I have that I showed yesterday about all the different stars. So you can see those patterns there, and you can think with us about, you know, what it could be. All right. So here we are. So this is Capella. This is a star that's, you know, next to Orion. So again, you see that ring there. You see that, you know, purple and brownish colors. You see the color is more on one side for any reason. And if you take a look at this, so what we call that, you know, energy of flux or whatever, it might be a vortex. In some videos, we can see it turning, like spinning, like a tornado. You understand? So I'm throwing all that in the grinder, you know, for you guys to just like think about it, think about it, and maybe you can come with ideas. Because as Mikey Smith told me last time, and I agree with him, uh, is that what we see up there, somehow we have to be able to see it also down here. Under whatever form, you know, maybe in nature, maybe in the human body, something. It has to, you know, we should be able to see that. Now, you see here the those things. It looks like something like a fluid energy or some or electricity or something. I don't know if it's a wave. It's possible. I don't know. Everything is possible. You see how it turns. You have that movement there. You can see that it turns, but there are better pictures from than that show that it turns. You know, it's not like rigid. So that's another star, and you can see also. You see these circles there. It's like it's spinning. There's a vortex there. See? So there is an activity here. Here we are. So you see here, you can see those stripes there. That's a sign of, some kind of a vortex or something going on. Don't tell me that it's a chromatic aberration, please. You see, here you go. You see, there's also a stripe here. So, of course, those are picture taken from far away. And actually, we don't believe that they are very far away. We believe that, I will join Mikey on that idea that the stars might be like, in the hundreds of miles, maybe 100 miles, 150 miles, 200 miles. I don't know. It's not very far away because when I look at them with my naked eye, I can detect already that form that I know already, but I can detect it with the naked eye. That means like when I zoom in, like 40 times. So that means like, it cannot be far. It cannot be like millions of light years away. This is so ridiculous, so stupid. So here we are. We see here clearly like that thing there that's tell, and you see again that the light here is being strong, and when it is strong, check it out. You have a glow around it. So here we're looking at the stuff from above. So one thing also important to understand is that the reflection behind the star doesn't come from an external light source that just like sends light onto the star and then a shadow. It is created by the star itself. You understand? So if it is created by the star itself and that it moves along with it, so it's possible again that that matter, that texture there is like doesn't move, and that just like a shadow just goes together. But again, I'm just sharing you my rough ideas. I didn't go deeper into this. I just want to, for the record, to share that with you, and so you can probably come up with ideas that we can check and triple check. Let's see. So again, that front thing, those two things there, and somehow there is. It looks like what we call in Hebrew rimonim. That means that those are those things that we put in synagogues. We put two like pomegranate shaped, silver objects on the two horns of the book of the Torah. Among the Sephardic people, not the Ashkenazi people, don't have that same encasing for the Torah, but we do. So it looks like a little bit. It's funny. It's interesting. So here you have a good picture here, and you can see. Look, it's like a flame directed to the top like this, not random. So it looks like a tornado, like but soft like this. Check it out. You see, and you see that it's turning. If you take a good look, it's turning. Check it out. I don't know if you can see it correctly. You see, you can see the movements, the rotating movements around the star. I'm gonna do it again. Wait a second. I'm gonna go back a little bit and check it out. You see that rotating? So again, do you think a phone can do that? If a phone could do that, that means there's only like one phone in the world that can do it. It's my phone, and another phone in the world that can do that is Mikey's phone. That means that if our phones are the only two ones that can, create this picture, there must be very expensive phones. I think we can sell those phones for lots of money because there's no other phones doing this. So I'm making fun just to let you know that again, as flat earthers, you're supposed to check things, just have a basic logic. Doesn't mean you cannot be wrong. We're wrong on many things, no problem. But since we, truth seekers, being wrong is just like a temporary thing, because sooner or later we're gonna reach to the truth. So here we go. Same thing here. Even if the light is bright here, it's brighter on the top. You see, there is like some hard nerve there, and again, a movement, spiral movement. Sorry. So this is Alpha Carinae. This is how I identified that star at that point. And look at that. Check it out. I stopped it perfectly. You see how bright it is here? And here we have that reflection. You see? That's nice. So what those holes are, I don't know. I have no idea. But there is something. And the phone cannot create that. Okay. So now people are going to try to, with everything I explained and I, exposed about, the credibility of these pictures. Now, anyone that's going to, want to insist into making people believe that this is like from bad equipment or this, for me, it's going to be a red flag. That means it could be like, a chill talking or somebody infiltrated because, a normal person will accept that, will follow the logic. But again, if he has like solid arguments, things that we don't know, that we didn't realize, of course, I'm open to check things out. So here you see much brighter here, and boom. So it's lighting up something behind it. You see now it turns back white blue, and then up here turn. Look at the changes of colors. See, it gets bright and boom. But here we have different colors, and this is the same star. So something is happening there. I have to study about colors and see what produce these colors. Like how come can change like this? About the colors, I have no problem thinking that maybe the phone as might have something to do. It's possible. I don't know. I don't think so, because the phone cannot create that for me. But it's possible. It's possible. But at that point, if it was the phone, it should be like all over the place, not just like in one place in the store. So I don't know. I have that. And again, we don't see that nowhere on the internet. So that's also the reason why we cannot say anything. Okay. So here you see that, it's bright, but nevertheless, we don't see any reflection really around it. I don't think that you can call that a reflection. It's possible. But here you see we have an example of the star that is glowing, but no reflection, which means to me, which might mean, let's say, that if there is a texture behind the star, it's not a regular structure. It can be like, like curved, or it can be like, deep at one point. So the light cannot reflect, or higher, just like if you, like fly over like mountains or something, and then above the sea or something. I don't know. Because here we clearly have, we can clearly see that the light is being stronger here, but we don't see the reflection. That means it goes down or it goes deep under that. I don't know. Again, those are first observations, first conclusions, but it's nothing, nothing is sure at all at that point. You see, here it's not. There's no glow really, because you can see the shape here, you can see the shape here. Everything is like you can distinguish all that. So there's no. I don't think so. We don't have. This is the last star I took last time. Yeah, on the 16th with my new phone. Actually, I'm not even sure that the S25 Ultra I bought is that good for taking pictures. I believe that I don't, I cannot take pictures. I have only like bad results with this phone, and I know that AI is being inserted big time in that phone. Is like very activated. So even though the phone gives perfect pictures, very good pictures, again in the daylight, here on Earth, when me and the objective are in the same light, there's no problem. But as soon as you're gonna start zooming on the light in the dark far away, so this is where we see problems. So that's for this. So back to normal. And so what I wanted to tell you again is just to review these important videos, because first of all, you're not going to find them nowhere on the internet, only here. And that's the good thing about about the podcast that we're starting, that small podcast, is that we have our own content. You understand? We don't have to take other people's content and just put it, except when they are talking about us or talking about what we're doing. But we have our own content. That's important, and I believe this is maybe what we need also in the Flouders community, because hey, everybody does what he can do. Not everybody has times. Has time the way I do, the way Mikey has. People have like families, they have problems, they have to spend so much time into this. First of all, it costs money, and when you're working, when you're doing all this, you don't make money. And then again, people, not everybody has time to invest himself into this. So everybody does what he can, and that's already good. But again, if people could, it'll be good to have their own content, their own things, their own experiences, their own like demonstrations, things that are not like from the net all the time. That'll be good. But again, it's like we can always be do better. We can always be worse too. So that was for me the my message today. Just we got to grow up, I believe, and stop like putting aside what's important because of personal reasons, because you feel better like this, or you feel bad about somebody. So again, uh, whatever you believe, whatever you think of Mikey Smith, or of of me, doesn't matter. I accept it. I understand. I understand people that are like they just don't want to deal with me because they see that there's already flag behind, and then they. I understand that. I know we've been so intoxicated for like thousands of years, that I understand that we need a detox, and we need to come back to our senses, to and to to free ourselves from the stupidity that's been injected into us for like so long. So the thing is that it takes time. I get it. I have no problem. I can talk also, if you want. One day we can talk about you know Torah or Israel, whatever, if you want to, even though it doesn't have much to do with flat Earth. But again, we have to know how to look at what's the best in each one of us, and this is what's interesting. This is what we are doing about flat Earth. We don't look at what's bad in flat Earth. We look at what's great. Nature, still lakes. Looking for the truth makes us look at what's best. So that's our secret. This is our strength. We should build this community around that. There are lots of people. I heard that do say stupid things and absurd things, but me personally, I can never say of a flat earther that he's stupid. I can't, because as a flat earther, he proved me already that he's not stupid. So even though people can believe stupid things, they're not stupid. When they belong to the flat earth community, I'm talking about like true flat earthers. I cannot tell them they're stupid. And not only do I believe that they're not stupid, they might be wrong. Someone that's smart or that's intelligent can be wrong. We're not like God. So the thing is that you can be wrong, but since you're a true flat earther, actually you go. It's a question of time until you understand that you are wrong, and and until you can correct yourself, just like we did, when we left the globe thing. So again, we have to look at what's the best among us in order to just to improve ourselves, and to bring this flatter thing there to the top. So again, so that was nice talking to you, and I'll come back. We'll come back with more material, and slowly, and we're gonna have something good going here. We're gonna have something of. We're gonna try to build something of quality. We're gonna work on it. So I was thinking about making a podcast every 2 weeks, but I think I'm gonna make like more podcasts like every week. We're gonna see how it works, if I can handle it. So meanwhile, thanks for everybody. Uh, Next time, people might be interested into joining in. I contacted some people. It seems to me that the time here, 8 o'clock p.m. Jerusalem time, is maybe not too good for people in the States. I'm gonna see what I can do about this. Maybe can change the time. So that's it. Thank you, everybody. And oh, I'm gonna try to put like some exit music. You know what? Let's take a shot at it. Okay, exit video official. Okay, guys. So see you soon.